The evil AI image generation. If you want to start a passionate discussion amongst artists, just mention AI image generation. Depending on who you talk to, the opinion may run from demonic to divinely inspired. When I first learned about it, I didn't give it much thought as it didn't affect me. But as I learned more about AI image generation, it disturbed me. As a professional artist, I was deeply troubled by the idea that high quality and complex images could be rendered quickly based on a text prompt. I grew concerned seeing more of these images, imagining how it will affect artists like me. I wondered, is AI image generation an evil technology? But then I remembered, that's what they told me about computer graphics in the late 1970s. Professional curiosity started me experimenting with ChatGPT 4 and Dall-e image generation. I quickly saw it as a powerful content creation tool, and my attitude began to soften. I could no longer dismiss AI offhand as I initially thought, and like computer graphics, I wanted to learn more. What does this new technology mean for artists? Is it bad? Or is it good? One thing's for certain, it's here to stay. Currently, my only direct experience is with ChatGPT 4 and Dall-e. I'm aware of other AI image generators, but this video is confined to Dall-e. After working with it, I discovered some truths about AI image generation. Based on my long experience as a professional artist and working with clients, I've come to understand my relationship with AI. As an artist, when clients bring me a project, they usually describe their idea with words. They hired me because they lack the skills or the time to produce the work themselves. My job is to interpret their verbal requests and produce an image that closely aligns with their original concept. This is an iterative process, creating and refining drafts until the project is completed to the client's satisfaction. However, when working with AI image generation, I'm no longer the artist, but the client, or a commissioner of the work. When I bring an idea to ChatGPT, I describe it with words, just as my clients do. ChatGPT then takes my prompt and interprets it in terms Dall-e requires to create the actual image. So, the conceptual relationship in this creative process is, I'm the client, ChatGPT is the art director, and Dall-e is the artist. Okay, I understand how that works, so let's show an example with the following prompt. Please render an early morning pastoral landscape with green meadows, scattered old gnarled and leafy oak trees. Show a small brook meandering through the scene, and show sunlight dappling on the ground through the trees. Please render the image in the style of Vermeer's color palette and lighting. About 30 seconds later, this image appeared. This is amazing. It would take hours for a skilled artist to create such an image. But there it was, in 30 seconds. Now, let's refine the first draft and see the image in 3 different formats: square, landscape, and portrait. I repeated the identical prompt, just adding the additional request for the 3 aspect ratios. This is a typical client request, and my expectation is that I'll get the same image just framed differently. Well, here's what I got in less than 2 minutes. Compare the 2 square images. The overall subject is the same, but the compositions are very different. As the client, this isn't what I expected. I liked the first image much better, so why did it change the composition? I would have expected at least the other 2 images would look like the first revised one, but nope. They're all similar, but different. As a professional artist, the fastest way to lose a client is don't give them what they want. I wanted to know why the same prompt yields 3 similar, yet different images. So I asked ChatGPT. That's when I discovered the basic truth. Every single image produced by Dall-e is as unique as a snowflake. In other words, Dall-e cannot produce consistent, identical images. That's a serious problem. It doesn't look like ChatGPT-4's Dall-e will put many artists out of work, so I hardly see that as a threat. For the moment. Does that mean it's useless? Not at all. Is it even art? Well, that's another issue entirely. We'll talk about that some other time. Because I began my professional career as an illustrator, I tend to look at projects from that perspective. As an illustrator, I visualize concepts and ideas which cover a very broad range of subjects. ChatGPT-4 with Dall-e gives me a means to illustrate, which I've done with this video. Given the time it takes me to illustrate a concept, collaborating with Dall-e is an empowering tool. But understanding the limits of any tool is critical to the creative process. Knowing what you can't do is very important. Okay, Dall-e can't create consistent images. That just means I can't use it to create a continuous visual narrative, like illustrating a storybook character. Supposedly, some people have developed custom GPTs to produce consistent characters, but I've not had much success with them. As I did with computer graphics, I embraced AI image generation as another creative tool I can use to illustrate concepts. I realize there are ethical issues with how AI is trained, but since it's here, I'll use it. I think AI image generation is a combination of clip art and photography, except I can request specific images on demand. However, whether I get what I ask for is never certain. Because my mind's eye can think of more things than I could possibly illustrate, I believe Dall-e is an excellent collaborator. I accept that it may not create exactly what I have in mind, but since Dall-e can generate images so fast, I can iterate many times and hopefully get something close to my original vision, which is basically how artists have always worked with clients. Given the sometimes widely varying results I get from Dall-e, I like to imagine Dall-e as a vast collection of artists from which ChatGPT randomly picks one and assigns my prompt. Considering the different interpretations I get, this way of visualizing the process makes it easier for me to understand and accept unexpected and sometimes unacceptable results. As with human artists, some images show incredible skill and execution, while others leave much to be desired. Another truth I've learned about AI image generation is that the interpreted results are impressionistic. 3D computer graphics can render images with geometric precision, accurately calculating colors, shading, lighting, and camera lenses. Dall-e generates images based on what it has learned. In my example of the pastoral scene, Dall-e generated an impression of my requested prompt based on what it thought it should be. Clearly, it knows little or nothing about certain subjects because some results are mind-numbingly stupid and hilarious. However, because anybody can access this tool, the volume of AI-generated art has exploded, with much of it being, well, soulless and crappy, in my opinion. It's much like digital photography. With smartphones, anyone can take pictures. However, not everyone has a sense of design, composition, and lighting, which makes most pictures mere snapshots. Just as anyone can use a pencil, very few can draw a realistic image. As with all tools, the results are based on the user's skills and abilities. In my opinion, AI image generation is no exception. So do I think AI image generation is a divine gift or an evil force unleashed on the art world? As with most things, I believe the truth lies somewhere between the two poles. Again, I can't speak for other AI image generators, but while Dall-e can produce impressive results with blazing speed, it's unpredictable and often uncooperative. These limitations currently prevent it, again in my opinion, from being the threat some artists believe it to be. Do you use AI image generation? Do you worry about it? Please let me know in the comments below your thoughts and opinions about AI image generation and AI in general. If you like this content, Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and check out my other videos and the link below to my blog.